Alright, okay, it looks like this is recording, thank God. Alright, so welcome everyone. For my 200 subscribers special, we're gonna be looking at some of my old writing that I wrote when I was 14. This is chapter 6 and might go to like chapter 8 or 9, it depends. Also, I'm doing this off script. Also, if you hear any noise from outside, those are, I think, our yard team for my apartment. They're putting mulch down. Um, all right, so let's get started on the cringe. You fool! Ace roared as he glared at the figure kneeling before him on the rocky beach. That poison was supposed to be for Scarface. Oh God, we're already in mustache twirling villain territory. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh God. The stranger howled in pain as the scorpion leader cuffed him in the ears. It wasn't my fault that Scarface gave away the root beer, the white fox whined, rubbing his aching ears. Okay, that can't hurt that bad. Come on. Well, he should have predicted it, Ace grumbled. How? How? Is he supposed to mind read? Like, I mean, yeah, sure, he could have poisoned all the drinks, but one of them, I think, was like a Dr. Pepper or something. And in order to open that, you have to break the tab. So, there would have been no way for people to not have known that that drink would have been tampered with. Master, just give me another chance. Scarface would die this time. Oh God, can't you use a... Who uses the word master? Can't you just say boss? Please, like, be normal! And what if your plan fails? The scorpion leader asked icily. Then there is always plan B. Please give me another chance. Ace looked at the kneeling warrior, then finally said, Oh, all right. Just make sure you succeed or else. Or else what? No, seriously, tell me the consequence, please. I'm going to assume it's death, knowing just how flat this villain character is, but come on. Like, at least tell me the consequence. Also, from what I remember, I don't think we ever find out what the or else is. Oh God. Um, by the way, Master, remind me why you want to kill the Wolfpack leader again? The White Fox questioned as he got up to leave, brushing sand off his pants. This is clearly exposition for the audience. Because, White Fox, Scarface hasn't gotten a new second in command ever since the last one, Flint, died. If we kill him and there is no deputy to take his place, then the Wolfpack will shatter. Will they? I mean, you think, like, given how young everyone is in that group, they just elect the, like, next oldest person. As well as, again, this is just recap for the audience. Like, the audience already knew Flint died. There is no reason to repeat this. The hitman vanished into the night, silently grumbling to himself. Ace always thought he was so clever, better than him. He thought that just because the White Fox had been bribed with food and medicine, the assassin would do anything Ace pleased. Then why are you working for this dude? Like, just take your medicine and leave. Yeah, sure, you could stay to fulfill the end of the deal, but, like, if you don't like your boss and you two already have, like, not so great morals, then what's stopping this guy from just stealing the supplies he was given and piecing out? It's not like they're stuck in a certain place. Like, they're in a city with presumably other land around. So he could just leave. Wait, why don't my other characters leave? Because they're in a place that's they eat like moldy food and that's nasty. So why don't my other characters just leave? Um, because they're shown leaving later, so instead of risk getting like food poisoning every single day, yeah, why aren't they leaving? Why are they staying in such a terrible place where the only food they get to eat is moldy, no heat, like I assume everything's just run down. And if I recall correctly, the outside world is like perfectly fine, so what's keeping them here? Like it's different because the novel I'm writing now, they're stuck on an island, so they can't just go off on their own to find, you know, a better place because they're stuck, but they're not stuck here, so okay, 14-year-old me clearly didn't think about that because if I think about it any longer, I'm gonna give myself an aneurysm. But just because the white fox had once been a stray, I never explained what that term means, didn't mean that he couldn't make a power grab. As soon as Ace ruled the entire Lost City, of course he wants to rule the whole city. God, that is such a cliche thing to do. The assassin would make sure he was next in line for leadership. How? How? He's not in Colonel. He's just working for them because he was bribed. How would he obtain that much power that quickly? Also, I find it amusing how Ace as a character is meant to be this big bad, but like we never find out his motivations for doing any of this. For why he wants to just destroy people and like uh commit arson and, cause a vast amount of chaos. Like even the Joker from The Dark Knight, we at least got the fact that, he's doing this because it's fun and he wants to create chaos to show that, people are truly terrible. But for Ace, we got nothing. Like, this isn't explained. This isn't, like, part of it could be his arrogance, but that's just very much there. That's never really given connected to why he wants to take over this entire city. Like, also, hopefully you guys can't hear my fan I have on, but yeah, this villain is given no motivation. The White Fox also isn't really given much motivation either. Yeah, sure, he hates Ace because he's like arrogant, but that doesn't really translate to, hey, now I want to take over this whole city. It's not like they have like a plan for it. They're gonna be like, okay, as soon as we take over the city, here's what's gonna happen. No, there's like no detail given, and this villain is complete and absolute cardboard, which is honestly kind of sad. Oh, I did not know what I was doing writing villains way back when. Plus, there's like no like nuance. Like Ace is just a villain, and that's it. Like we're never actually shown any like positive traits, because realistically, terrible people, you know, as terrible as some people are, like dictators, they had to gain their power somehow, and most of that is through, you know, influencing people. And, people can have both good and negative traits and bits of their personality, because that's just how people are. It's more realistic. But this guy is just evil for the sake of being evil, and he's pure evil for no reason, no good traits. All right, so chapter 7. God, I did not label these chapters. Thanks, past me. What were you doing? My feet crunched through the snow of midwinter. Oh, it's. Wait. Yeah, it has been winter. Okay. And cold sleet rained down on me as I headed toward the dumpster for food. I was closely followed by the rest of the patrol, which included Scarface, Jamie, I don't know who that is, Jaguar, and Lisra? Sounds like Listerine, the mouthwash. We spotted a stray clone nothing, that's supposed to be who was nothing more than a bag of bones, like all other strays, wandering through our territory. Okay, can't you recruit them? Like, if, you know, if these are supposedly the good guys, then why aren't they trying to help other people out? Like, they have this huge territory with multiple dumpsters that they fish for food, and they didn't really try to help each other out. That's not really how people work. Because even in situations that have been, in the real world that have been god awful, like during like wartime and stuff, people have still, yeah, there are some people that are terrible, but there are also other people who band together and try to help. And it would look a lot better for our good guys if they banded together and tried to help other people rather than just letting them starve. Jamie instantly ran up to her and began asking her questions. Still don't know who that is, but it's been a while since my last video. Also, what's with all the J names? Jaguar and I exchanged a glance. Even though it had been a month since the Scorpion incident and Jinx's death, God, another J name. The Jagrundi pack was still asking other clones about the White Fox. Unfortunately, nobody knew a thing about the murderer. Really? Because if they're in a small city, someone's gotta know something. Someone has gotta, yeah, sure, there were fighting, but considering sounds like there's clones all over, someone has to have seen something or know about the black market. Like, how did Ace get into a contact with a hitman in the first place? Like, you think there'd be like an underground network or something? Grumbling to myself with impatience, yes, that's a given, I stepped onto the icy road to continue toward the dumpster. About halfway toward the dumpster, with the wolf pack just 13 feet behind me. Wow, that is specific. Did you bring a ruler for that? I spotted two strange lights, which was odd because the lost city had no electricity. See, they're more proof that they're living in a terrible place. So why don't they leave? They were round, bright, and levitating. The bright circles also were accompanied by a loud, strange rumble. A flash of panic. I'm sorry, I'm thinking UFOs. I know what it is, but my first mind is, God, this gotta be a UFO. A flash of panic ran through me as I suddenly figured out what they were. I spun to run in the opposite direction, only to embarrassingly slip on the icy road. Okay, no time for embarrassment. Like, you're gonna die. Although I scrambled up unhurt, yeah, right, the car was coming at me too fast. Okay, how did you not know there was a car? Like, there's no indication of how dark out it is. Yeah, sure, it's sleeting, which, that isn't great, but usually you can at least see a slight outline of a car rather than just the headlights. Coyote, move! Someone yelled behind me. I was grabbed by the collar of that's supposed to be my gray windbreaker and tossed out of the car's path. I turned around to see Scarface about to get hit by the white SUV. Maybe that's why I was blending in? Scarface, get out of the way while there's still time, I screamed. Wow, that is a long sentence for a desperate situation. But he just stood there, frozen in terror. The SUV hit him in a screeching sound of metal against bone. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. That's gonna leave a mark. As the car sped away with a squeal of tires, okay, so pit and run, our leader fell to the ground with a sickening thud. Okay, question. If this city is lost to like normal humans, how did a car end up here? And I do I ever explain that? I'm not sure if I ever explained that either, but yeah, how did a car end up here if like no one knows where these clones are at? Oh no, oh no, oh no. I thought as I rushed to the side of our unmoving leader. The wolf pack quickly ran over to me when they realized something was wrong. They just realized that? What were they doing? Like, surely they were all headed toward the same direction, which means they're all looking at the same direction, which means they were all watching this unfold. Where were the rest of you people? Were you literally just standing there, picking your noses while this was happening? Coyote, what happened? Lystra asked as she knelt beside me. See, like, more proof they don't know. What the heck were they doing? There was a car coming toward me, going to hit me, and Scarface pushed me out of the way. It happened so fast I couldn't stop it, and then I suddenly stopped talking when I heard my voice was cracking. The last thing I wanted to do in front of everyone was break down and cry. I mean, this is an appropriate time to cry, so I doubt anyone would judge you. Um, There's also the fact that Coyote recaps this when there's no need. Like, the audience just saw it happen. I could have just put Coyote explain what happened, or better yet, just delete those paragraphs all together because the others should know what was going on. Lester quickly checked our leader for a pulse. Jaguar, run to headquarters and tell Sol we have an emergency, she said as the warrior took off running. Don't worry, Coyote. Scarface is a fighter. There's a good chance he'll live. Jamie tried to reassure me. Well, that's a relief. That sucks out all the tension. There's also the fact that... Oh my god. Like, people have died being hit from cars. Like, what usually happens, or what I've heard usually happens, is they end up, the front of the car makes it so it hits them in the leg, or like near their knee, which launches them onto the windshield, or they usually end up putting all their weight on their neck, and that ends up breaking it. Or they go through the windshield, or either way, it's not good. And the fact that he was just straight up got absolutely wrecked by this vehicle. Like, dude should be, like, at least, bleeding profusely, and there should be more injuries rather than just, oh, he's fine. No worries, he'll be fine. An hour later, Sol stepped out of the kitchen where we had brought Scarface and wiped his bloody hands with a rag and closed the door behind him. This man is supposed to be their doctor, yet he does not wear gloves. That is disgusting. And now if Scarface isn't going to die from the car, he's going to die from infection. Will Scarface be all right? I asked. The healer shrugged, worry in his eyes. Hard to tell considering Scarface is in pretty bad shape. He had a lot of internal bleeding as his ribs are bruised. I'm surprised they're not broken. He might not make it through the night. Okay, if this is a very touch-and-go situation, and this dude has a lot of bleeding, he's pretty much dead at this point. Like, it never said that they did surgery to stop the internal bleeding, which is really the only way you can stop internal bleeding. So, yeah, this dude's dying. Like, I don't know how he survives this, but yeah, realistically, he should be dead. I nodded and trudged toward the family room where the rest of the warriors were waiting. Suddenly, oh god, a hand clamped over my mouth and pulled me back into the shadows. Why? I struggled to break free, trying to bite my captor's hand. Oh god, I'm just imagining the Nestle Crunch thing now. Take it easy, Coyote. It's just me, my attacker said as they released me. Oh jeez, Athena, don't scare me like that. You almost gave me a heart attack, I snapped. Okay, but why did Athena feel the need to do that? Like, she could have just been in the room and be like, hey, I need a favor from you, instead of just doing whatever the heck that was. That was just tension for the sake of tension. Sorry, but I need your help and I don't want Scarface to find out. The man's unconscious and with internal bleeding. He's not going to be figured out stuff for a while. Like, he's not going to know what happened. The last thing he told me when I visited him a few minutes ago was, "Stay out of this mess. I don't want to get hurt looking for answers." Oh no, he is conscious. So if he's conscious, then oh god, that doesn't make sense with the internal bleeding. He shouldn't be conscious. She laughed softly, as if I need any protection. I'm a clan leader, for Pete's sake. God, 14-year-old me and not using swear words made for some of the cringiest dialogue. Like, these people do not talk like people. I mean, they're clones, but still. Okay, what do you want? I asked. You know what hit him, don't you? Yeah, everyone knows. It's not like a secret that a car wrecked this man. After a moment of hesitation, I nodded. Why are you hesitating? Good, now follow me. The Jack Grundy leader headed out the screen door. I quickly ran after her. Where are we going? I questioned as I caught up with her. We're going to see the Seeker, Athena replied. The Seeker, who's that? I wondered as we walked toward an old library. A good question. Why don't you ask that? But I do like how, even when I was 14, like, the thought of just people living in abandoned libraries was, like, my thing. I still have that in my current novel where there's people living in an abandoned library, because, I mean, that's just, like, sounds like one of the coziest places you could be during bad times. It's just books everywhere, knowledge, probably not a whole lot of food, but who cares? You can eat the paper, books. As it turns out, the Seeker was some sort of Orgul who lived in a rundown library with old shredded books and dusty library shelves. It was rumored she was protected by a fierce warrior. Okay. Okay, I thought this was sci-fi. How are we getting into fantasy territory here? Now stay close to me, Coyote, and do not tell anyone what you are about to witness. Only gang leaders should see this. What makes her so special? Like, I know she's the main character, but if she's being let in on a huge secret like this, when everyone else saw the SUV, like, they could have taken literally anyone else. Like, the MC didn't have to be the person chosen. It would have been so much better if they needed her and her alone for, like, a specific reason. She scanned the sections until she came to the W0. Although most of the books were missing or lay on their side, a huge black book about zebras stood upright. Oh, so it's like those, God, those objects in video games where there's like a giant like spotlight or like a glowing thing shining down on him to be like, hey, pull here, look at this. Instead of pulling the book out, though, she pushed it in. There was a sudden screeching noise as ancient rusted gears began to turn in the bookshelf. Okay, but, like, if books are missing, that means people are taking them. So, has no one ever tried to take this book and discover this hidden thing on accident? Because that could happen. Like, I don't know why people are taking books, probably for very poor kindling, but regardless, like, that's a pretty obvious clue of, hey, there shouldn't be that much information about zebras, so, like, I watched in amazement as the bookshelf split in half, revealing the entrance to a cave. The library is connected to a series of underground tunnels, but most of the entrances collapsed and the tunnels were eventually forgotten, Athena explained. We stepped into the pitch-black tunnels and began to ascend into the earth. Okay, but they're clearly not forgotten if you and most of the leaders know about them. Also, if the gang leaders know about this, and like the Scorpions know about this, or at least their leader, why didn't he go to the Oracle to ask for information or to see like the outcome of like the fight or something? Why? Why am I having so many plot holes? 15 minutes later, that's specific time. You got a stopwatch with you, bud? I saw what looked like a floating torch coming toward us. I instantly drew out my knife, and Athena unsheathed a sword Sarg let her borrow. Wait, I thought Jaguar had the weapons collection. Who's there? A rough voice called out. I'm Athena of the Jagrundi, and this is Coyote of the Wolfpack. We have come to question the Seeker, Athena replied. Very well, follow me. The voice replied again. Oh yes, just follow mysterious voice into the dark when you know there's an assassin around. Yes, good choice, good choice. We walked down a long corridor until we came to a rusty metal door. Two clones are here to see you, Tigress, the stranger said, knocking on the door. Let them come in, Score, the seeker replied. I pushed open the door to reveal a dimly candlelit cavern made of earth. A figure sat on a red woven rug, her eyes closed, clearly meditating. So, you wish for answers, do you? Tigress asked. Athena nodded, and we sat down across from the seeker. I said, you wish for answers, right? The seeker repeated as she ran her hand through her white hair. That's what you said before, I said, confused. Yes, but I'm afraid I couldn't see your answer, Tigress said as she opened her eyes. Although Tigress's eyes were clearly green, they were coated in cataracts. Well then, that means you can't tell the color of her eyes. Oh wait, no. Cataracts affect the pupil. Never mind. She was blind. No! Sorry, I'm trying not to swear here. Gee, you don't say. However, I'll just assume you said yes, she said as she closed her eyes again. Why would they say no? Like, you'd think they'd walk all the way down this corridor and be like, nah, we don't want your services. You're wondering about the hit and run, aren't you? The seeker said, reading my mind. Yes, but we have a suspect, Athena replied, meaning the white fox. I don't think anyone here knows how to drive a car. So, I'm pretty sure it's not that dude. When I wrote this, I didn't know how to drive a car. I'll tell you who it really was, Tiger said solemnly. When she told us the answer, I felt as if I had been punched in the stomach. Gee, past me, you're not going to reveal what that is? That'd be a great time to reveal what that is, instead of hiding that information for no reason. Thank you for your time, Tigress, the Jagrundi leader said dryly as we got up to leave. Oh, one more thing, the Seeker said. You forgot this. She tossed Athena a red, ink-splattered, and tattered book. Okay. Question. If the Seeker's blind, and she has this book full of what we're finding it out is gonna be prophecies, how does she write them down? Does she tell them to her bodyguard and he writes them down? Because if not, it's gonna be very hard for her to write down anything because she can't see. There's also the fact that wouldn't it be more comfortable to just live in the library rather than a tunnel in the library in a room made of dirt? Like, that sounds cold and damp and uncomfortable. Why would you willingly stay there? Okay, I think this is chapter 8. This is the last one I'm probably gonna do. We arrived home and shook off the snow from our coats and tennis shoes. Sol walked to us and said, Scarface requests your presence in the kitchen. Now. Athena and I shared a glance as we opened the kitchen door. Scarface was lying down on a broken red sofa that we had dragged into the room. How? When? When was this? When did you have the time? As soon as Scarface's injuries were healed, you left. Did you just put him down when you were trying to save his life and just take some time to just drag a whole piece of furniture through a door? Like, apart from his bandaged side, his slightly pale face from blood loss, and his angry expression, he looked fine. So, you disobeyed me, he hissed. How do you know, dude? Like, how do you know? Like, this guy has the power of super strength. He's not psychic. And as far as I know, no one else knew where Athena and Coyote had gone. So, how does he know this? Yes, Scarface, but we had a good reason, I began. I don't want to hear it, he snapped. Just tell me what you've learned. Oh, so you're not mad at them. Well, you are mad, but it's just very much like no consequence is gonna come of this. Okay. Uh-oh. I nervously glanced at Athena. Do you want to tell him, or should I? I asked. You can. She quickly replied. Oh god, she's immediately just chickening out. Well, Scarface, we think we began to know why everything death-related is trying to kill you. I began. Oh god, that's clunky. And the bottom line is, my leader asked impatiently. I sighed. It was time to break the ice. Scarface, the reason the SUV incident happened was because I swallowed hard. Humans have discovered the lost city. You don't say. You don't say. It's not like, one of you just stumbled across a shiny SUV and took it for a spin. What? That's impossible. No human has ever seen the lost city, much less heard of it. Our leader yelled. He winced and clutched his side. Okay, the fact that he's just talking even when his ribs are bruised, like, that's going to hurt. It all adds up, though, Scarface. No one, not even the Scorpions, could get their hands on the brand new SUV. How did I know it's brand new? Did you see it at the dealership? I nodded in agreement. Oh, and Tigress also asked me to give you this. She handed our leader the book. Scarface quickly glanced at the title, which said Book of Prophecies in gold lettering. He opened it carefully, as if it were a bomb about to go off. Surprisingly, the ink-stained pages were blank. Looks like we don't have to worry about any prophecies, I stated. Just then, golden letters appeared on the pages, as if some invisible hand had written them. The gold letters read, Okay, wait. This was supposed to be sci-fi. Why are we in fantasy territory now? Like, it would have been one thing if they're written down beforehand, but just, like, happening like that? I had this in the wrong genre. When I wrote this, because I was aiming towards sci-fi, accidentally switched over to fantasy. The prophecy. Oh, shoot. The prophecy of empires. When a pack journeys forth to stop war and strife, they must go to the land of fire and ice. Before 1 moon's time, they must complete their quest, for their skill shall be put to the test. For warriors of a great nation, heed their leader's call. The clan must succeed or their city will fall. Though warriors will join the journey, their hopes high. Several shall not make it out alive. One warrior with no fear will perish to a bird of the air. One clone on a similar path will fall to his own power's wrath. But before the quest ends on either peace or strife, the journey shall take one more life. This is me attempting poetry, and it ain't good. It's not good. Like, this isn't good poetry. And also, can you tell that I was inspired by Warrior Cats for this? Like, this is a blatant, like, me trying to copy Warrior Cats, which is really embarrassing. Oh, wham. Scarface slammed the book shut. Do you know what this means? He asked. I shook my head. It means humans have declared war on us. War. It also means the wolf pack must stop it from happening. Okay, how do you know that? Yeah, sure, but you don't know if it's humans, right? The full moon is in 4 weeks. If we are to complete the journey, you must go now. Hold it. I'm going with the pack, and you and the Jagrundi warriors are staying here in case we do not return, Scarface ordered. I mean, if they don't return, and the month is up, it sounds like you're doomed, regardless. So, why not have everyone go? Like, why are you having them stay here when it will be so much better to just everyone go together and have a bigger chance of succeeding? What? But will it take you at least 2 weeks to recover, Scarface? Does this man have superhuman healing abilities? I don't think bruised ribs heal that fast. That means the Wolfpack will only have 14 days to stop the war. Yeah, like, Athena protested. Like, yeah, no, like, have them go without you. Why do you have to go along? Like, get a new second in command. And as part of their test for essentially, if they're worthy for that position, send them out on the mission. Why are you risking it and giving your people such a time crunch for no reason? Like, that's just hamstringing yourself, dude. My warriors are strong. They will make it in time, the Wolfpack leader replied as he closed his eye and drifted off to sleep. Alright, so that is the end of that chapter, and I forgot how cringy this is. Like, my writing back then was the definition of I am cringe, but I am free. Sure, it was creative, but dear God, there were plot holes everywhere. My characters were cardboard, but considering this is my first novel, you know, I still have some nostalgia for it, I'll be honest. I can still remember these scenes as clear as day when I was writing them, so yeah. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I really hope my video recorded. But, and I will see you in the next book review, and thank you so much for 200 subscribers.